Imagine this. It's a warm summer morning, December 1st, 1948, on Somerton Beach in Adelaide, Australia. The tide is out, the air smells of salt, and a few early joggers are out for their run. They spot a man slumped against a seawall. His legs are extended, his feet are crossed, looking for all the world like he's just taking a peaceful nap in the sun. But he isn't sleeping. He's dead. He's impeccably dressed, a crisp white shirt, a red and blue tie, brown trousers, and a polished grey suit jacket, which is odd because it's a warm day. Even stranger, he's wearing a heavy knit sweater underneath it all. But this is where the scene shifts from strange to chilling. As police examine him, they discover that every single label on his clothing has been meticulously, professionally cut away. There's no wallet, no identification, no name, just a half-eaten packet of juicy fruit gum, a bus ticket, and a pack of cigarettes. This isn't just an unidentified body. This is the start of a riddle that has baffled codebreakers, spies, and detectives for over 75 years. This is the mystery of the Somerton Man. The man was in peak physical condition, likely in his 40s. He was described as having European features and unusually strong, well-developed calf muscles, the kind you'd see on a professional ballet dancer or a high-end athlete. He was the picture of health. But inside, it was a different story. The pathologist found his stomach and spleen engorged with blood. He had been poisoned, and the damage was extensive. Yet, bafflingly, there was absolutely no trace of any known poison or toxin found in his system. It was as if his body had simply decided to shut down, as if he had ceased to live by choice. The coroner couldn't even determine the cause of death. For 4 long months, the case went cold. The man remained a John Doe, his story a blank page. Then a breakthrough, or what seemed like one, a senior pathologist, re-examining the man's clothes, found something everyone had missed. Sewn deep into a tiny, hidden fob pocket in the lining of his trousers was a small, tightly rolled up scrap of paper. It was torn from a book, and on it were just 2 words. Printed in elegant Persian script, Tamám Shud. When translated, these words sent a shiver down everyone's spine. They mean it is ended, or it is finished. This tiny clue launched a nationwide search. Police asked the public to look through their libraries for the book this scrap came from. Eventually, a man came forward. He had found a rare collection of Persian poetry, the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, tossed into the back seat of his unlocked car. He hadn't thought anything of it at the time, but he realized his car had been parked near Somerton Beach on the very night the man died. When police examined the book, they found the last page had been torn out. The scrap of paper fit the tear perfectly. Tamám Shud was the final phrase in the book. In the back, written in faint pencil, were 2 things that would elevate this case from a local tragedy to a potential international conspiracy. First, there was an unlisted phone number. Police traced it to a young nurse who lived just a short walk from Somerton Beach. Her name was Jessica Thompson, but everyone called her Jo. When investigators showed her a plaster cast of the dead man's face, her reaction was extreme. Witnesses said she looked down, her hands clasped, and she seemed to nearly faint. She appeared shocked, possibly even frightened. But when questioned, she denied everything. She claimed she didn't know the man, had never seen him before, and had no idea why her secret number was in his book. She did, however, admit that she once owned a copy of the Rubaiyat, which she had given to a man named Alfred Boxall during the war. For a moment, police thought they had their man, but they found Alfred Boxall alive and well, with his copy of the Rubaiyat, complete with the Tamám Shud page intact. The mystery man was not Alfred Boxall. So, who was he, and why did Jessica Thompson react so strongly? Her story never quite added up. She was described as evasive and unwilling to help, and many believed she knew far more than she ever let on. But there was something else in the back of that book, something that has become the enduring heart of this puzzle. Scribbled below the phone number were 5 lines of capital letters, a seemingly random jumble that looked like a secret code. To this day, the world's most brilliant military cryptographers, from the FBI to Scotland Yard, have tried to crack it. And to this day, they have all failed. The code remains completely undeciphered. What does it say? Does it hold the key to his identity? Is it a list of coordinates? The name of a secret contact? This uncrackable cipher is what fuels the most popular theory, that the Somerton man was a spy. The era was the beginning of the Cold War. Secret intelligence agencies were operating in Australia. The idea of a clandestine agent, betrayed and poisoned by his enemies, using a secret code and a book of poetry to communicate, was not far-fetched. The removed clothing tags, the untraceable poison, the secret pocket, the coded message, all paints the picture of a professional operative. Was he a Soviet agent, or perhaps an American one, whose mission had gone fatally wrong? Did Tamám Shud signify the end of his mission or his life? But there's another theory, one that's more personal and tragic. This theory centers on Jessica Thompson. What if the Somerton man wasn't a spy, but a star-crossed lover? Perhaps he had travelled to Adelaide to see her, a last desperate attempt to win her back. When she rejected him, he walked to the beach, heartbroken, and took his own life with a poison so obscure it left no trace. In this version of the story, the code isn't a state secret, but maybe the first letters of words in a poem or a personal message of despair. It would explain Jessica's shocked reaction and her reluctance to be involved. She might have been a married woman, and admitting a connection to a dead lover would have destroyed her life. The tragedy is that she took her secrets to her grave, passing away in 2007. For decades, the Somerton man lay in a grave marked simply the unknown man. His identity was a ghost story, a piece of Australian folklore. But the story isn't over. In a stunning modern twist, his body was exhumed in 2021 for DNA analysis. Using advanced genetic genealogy, researchers have made a groundbreaking claim. They believe they have finally identified him. They say the Somerton man was Carl Charles Webb, an electrical engineer and instrument maker from Melbourne. He was born in 1905, making him 43 when he died. But here's the thing about this mystery. Every answer only creates more questions. If he was Carl Webb, an engineer from Melbourne, why was he 500 miles from home in Adelaide? Why was he traveling with no ID, wearing clothes with all the labels cut out? Why did he have a secret code in his pocket? And how did he die from an untraceable poison on a deserted stretch of beach? And what was his connection to Jessica Thompson? So far, no link has been found between the two. Identifying a name doesn't solve the puzzle. It just gives the ghost a face. The story of the Somerton man of Carl Webb haunts us because it represents the ultimate blank slate. He is the ghost in the machine of the 20th century, a perfectly preserved mystery from a time before digital footprints and constant surveillance, when a person could truly, completely vanish. So, what do you think? Was he a disgraced Cold War agent carrying state secrets to his grave? Or a man so utterly heartbroken by a woman who refused to acknowledge him even in death that he chose to simply disappear? The code remains unbroken, the full truth remains hidden, and the man from Somerton Beach remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of all time.